This is Eran Guse, and he has Wagner's disease.
In the fall of when Brandon was in the 5th grade, he had these sinus infections that wouldn't go away, and there was an ear infection that wouldn't go away, and he just had these chronic fevers. It didn't make sense. We kind of knew something else was going on, and it turns out it was just destroying his kidneys. A sneaky disease. It just, it comes on like a sinus infection or a cold, and by the time you really know what's going on, it's really done some damage.
Brandon has been in and out of hospitals ever since then, receiving chemo, dialysis, and many other treatments for his medical conditions. But as you can see from many of these pictures, it doesn't seem like Brandon allows his medical issues to bring down his spirits. Brandon doesn't only use humor to stay uplifted, he also has George.
George is my cat, and he's very big. He weighs 19 pounds, and he one of the things we do with him is we pick him up and we make him sit like a human, and it's very funny.
Yeah. Because of his health issues, Brandon is in need of a triple transplant.
So they have to figure out what to do with the liver, and they're still talking about that. And then he definitely needs a kidney transplant, and then he needs a bone marrow transplant.
If the transplant works out, Brandon and his parents wish for him to attend Murray State.
So back when he was very young, probably around 2, find me, and he kind of pull on me, and he couldn't talk it very well at the time. He would only say a couple of words, but I knew what he wanted. He wanted me to go downstairs, and we're just gonna go over our numbers, and we'd go 1, and then he would say 1, and then I would erase it and go 2, and he'd say 2. We'd get to 10. Wanted to know what was past 10, so we went from 11 to 20. He wanted to know what's past 20, so we got to 29, and then he wanted to count himself, and he tried to say 2010. And I said, no, Brandon, it's not 2010. And I said 30. And then he wanted to know what comes after 30, and it was 31. And then he started, without us even doing the writing down or anything, he started counting. He said 31, 32, 33. He said, okay, 40, 41, 42. And then he found it was 50 and 60 and 70 and 80 and 90 and then finally 100. And that day he was counting over and over and over again. And that night we got to listen to Brandon count to 100 several times to put himself to sleep on the baby monitor. So this brilliant kid at age 2-something decided that he was going to learn how to count to 100 in a day. And Brandon has, obviously his main goal is to get better. College is probably the best thing for him, and since he is very good at numbers, we'll probably end up having him do something with numbers. And so our hope is for this fall that he might take 1 or 2 classes just to kind of get a splash, get an idea of what college is like.
I hope to eventually go to Murray State and do something with involving math, because as we said earlier, I'm really good at math.
Brandon and his family have asked anyone willing to donate towards the GoFundMe, which can be accessed through this link. This will assist with living expenses during the transplant process.